What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome back to my vlog. Yes, I'm going for a slightly different vibe with this one. I'll explain that in just a minute. First off, though, I wanted to make sure that you know that I finally managed to get an Instagram account for my YouTube channel specifically. So, you can still find me on Facebook and Twitter at MattConroyYT. But if you're going to find me on Instagram, tack a 1990 onto that. Because for some reason Matt Conroy YT was already taken on Instagram. I don't know how, but it was. So tack on a 1990 onto the end of that for Instagram, and then you can find me there. It's a little weird trying to post YouTube videos on Instagram, though. At least it has been from my experience. Because when I post them on to YouTube, like, there's no click thing, Insta share button to put it right on Instagram. So what I've been doing is making kind of just like a short little video recording on Instagram, kind of explaining the general topic of the video and then putting a link underneath it. So anyway, on to the topic of this video, and the reason why I don't have the regular lighting on and I'm going with the natural light this time around. I wanted to talk about the whole Earth Day March for Science thing that happened earlier this past week. Honestly, at first, I was a little confused as to what all exactly was going on with this whole March for Science thing. I mean, I knew what Earth Day was, and I figured it was probably slightly connected to that. My assumption kind of was that it was just a twist on the whole marching to protest about climate change related stuff. And yes, that was part of it. But it was more than that, too. I will say, though, the whole climate change Earth Day thing is why I'm going with the whole natural lighting open window thing rather than the, electric ceiling light, trying to slightly reduce my environmental impact in making this particular video, which maybe I should do all the time. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But some of the other things, really probably the bigger things that this whole March for Science was all about, was dealing with governmental cuts, or at least proposed governmental cuts to funding for scientific research, or even just cutting school funds, because then that reduces the ability for science to be taught in school. Really, science is one of those areas where it has had the greatest development recently. I mean, you think about all the different advancements to our technology. That's all science. We wouldn't have clean water in a lot of places without science. There's so much that revolves around science that it's like, why in the world would you ever want to reduce the research on it? I realize, there comes a certain cutoff point where, okay, yes, we need to put some money into other things. Like keeping people healthy. But the big point with all of this is that I just think it's ridiculous. Any kind of proposition that the government is making to cut this funding for all this kind of stuff, and not only just straight up science funding, but like specifically efforts to promote like clean energy and more environmentally friendly practices and that kind of stuff. I was watching a video thing on this lately where it said certain states, or at least cities, were, within the US specifically, I should say, certain cities and states were planning on making themselves 100% like clean energy efficient by like 2035. That's all of 18 years from now. If we could get to that point where we're not having to rely on consumable energy, it just frees up so many other areas to where we can start focusing on how to make those self-sufficient. Because let's be honest, if we're not self-sufficient, then eventually we're gonna run out of resources. So forget the sun possibly, exploding and consuming us, or, black hole or supernova or asteroid crashing into us or anything like that. We're to put it bluntly, we're screwed long term if we can't make ourselves sustainable. So, yeah, why? Why would you want to cut research for this kind of stuff? And why would you want to diminish efforts to make things self-sufficient? And not only that, but why would you want to cut funding for schools that allow all this science and the research and all this kind of stuff that all this is based off of? Why would you want to cut that and prevent that from being taught? Like, why? There's hardly anything that we have today that doesn't involve some kind of scientific research that was done in the past that said, hey, here's a better way to do this. And so when you cut science funding, it just massively reduces the amount of progress that we can make. And I'm not saying that everything that we've done with science is good. I mean, you think about nuclear weapons. Are those really good? I'd say probably not. Weapons that could destroy the vast majority of the world are not a good thing. But, you know, there's a good and a bad to any advancement. It all depends on the people that are using it and what they use it for. That's really all I kind of wanted to say with this one. So, yeah, as always, like and share if you enjoyed this video. And you know what? You know what to do. All the other stuff. I'm not going to bother doing the entire thing just because really it's all about whether or not you guys are getting the message. I don't care that much if you like or share my videos or if you subscribe or whatever to that. As long as you're getting the point of what I'm saying here. And okay, maybe share the video if you agree that this whole needing to march for science thing is ridiculous. Like, why in the world should we even have to bring this up? But anyway, it's just, yeah. You know what to do. In any case, hope you're all doing well. Hopefully you got the point of the video. And if not, leave me a comment so I can explain it better. Otherwise, yeah, I guess that's going to do it for this time around. So, hope to see you in the next video. Stay cool, people.